dawn, and a flotilla of World War II amphibious ducks makes its way ashore in Normandy, northern France. It was here, a little over half a century ago, that one of the bloodiest battles of World War II took place on June the 6th, 1944, D-Day. It's estimated that at least 2,000 men of the American 1st and 29th Infantry Divisions lost their lives on this beach, coming ashore in the initial landings. It's a little quieter today. Birdsong has taken the place of murderous machine gun fire that raked up and down this beach. The gun emplacements remain silent and the trenches are now overgrown. With every passing year, veterans and military enthusiasts alike gather on these shores to pay tribute to the men who lost their lives on these beaches during the week around June the 6th. These GMC ducks were perhaps one of the most versatile vehicles of World War II. They were equipped with special devices which allowed their tyres to be inflated or deflated by the driver from his cab, depending on the type of beach on which the duck was required to land. The duck had a propeller giving it a maximum speed of around 6 knots. This duck is in the markings of one of the Seabees, an American construction battalion which saw action in the Pacific. The dragon's teeth are intended to frighten the enemy. They held superstitions that the teeth of a dragon spelled death. As we head west, our drive takes us to Dog Green sector, where General Norman Cotter witnessed his men pinned down amongst the tetrahedral and debris of battle, being massacred. Such was the confusion that offshore General Omar Bradley on the USS Augusta considered diverting his troops further up the coast to the British sector. These enthusiasts retraced the run-in taken by D, E and F companies of the 2nd Ranger Battalion as they battled towards Point du Hoc to destroy the guns thought to be sighted high above these cliffs. In error, they initially went to Point de la Percée, 3 miles away. They came under constant fire as they altered course. It was the unenviable task of the 2nd Ranger Battalion to climb these cliffs and destroy the gun emplacements. Having paid their respects, our group makes its way slowly back towards Omaha Beach. The duck moves forward in water using a propeller driven by a transfer case mounted in the driveline. In water, steering is achieved by use of both the front wheels and a specially constructed rudder which is interconnected to the steering mechanism. On land it has a range of 220 miles and 50 miles in water. It carries 5,350 pounds of cargo, 25 fully equipped troops or 6 litter cases. These ducks slowly haul their way out of the water on Dog Green sector to a very different reception from their predecessors over half a century ago. The owner and mechanic described some of the unique features about his vehicle.
This is called a duck. She's painted in navy colours for the South Pacific. The teeth on the front, as you see, are on there to a psychological thing to frighten the Japanese. It was on planes and on a lot of the amphibious landing craft. As they came in, they saw the teeth, and they're very superstitious on that, so it was one of the things put there. These are for when you're from ship to shore bumping up against the ship. These are what are called fenders. This particular one here is a hatch which is put forward for hitting the waves of surfboard. They're all complemented with the tools. Here we have the air system works. It's sucked in from the back of the driver, out through the engine, round in tunnels and comes out of here. So it's a nice hand warming place when it's cold. If it's very bad weather, you shut this up to keep the waves from going in. They have a habit of being swamped. Again, another rope fender. A lot of these were fitted, well, they were fitted during the war with inflatable, which was a bearing went on here, and there was a inflatable which blew the tyres up as you went along. There's pipe work that was taken up and from here, and the driver controlled it. If it was a soft beach, he would let the tyres to the various beaches, hard, soft, or whatever, which each wheel can control from the driver. A very complex bit of machinery for its day. These are various hatches. There's forward hatches and rear hatches. Again, rope fenders against the thing there. The hooks you see on the side here were for lowering the ducks off the ships into the sea, which was a big carrying crane which we were lowered down. I've never done that, I don't think I want to. Round here there is a self-recovery winch, which again is quite interesting. It will go straight through the middle of the hole and go straight out the front, so you can winch yourself forward or winch yourself back. Now the rudder is operated by the steering wheel. When you turn the steering wheel, it turns the front wheels and it also turns the rudder. It's idiot-proof, it's working all the time, so there's no separate. The propeller, when you go into the water, you engage the propeller obviously when you're in water for the amphibious part. It has pumps which again are self-bleeding, and they come in automatically if you've taken water aboard. So the thought behind it was always pretty safety, even them days, for the drivers.